All right, so today we're going to go over how I like to set up a brand new fresh device as a bilingual device, but the same video can be used for a monolingual device as well. Right now, I don't have any devices that are getting TouchChat for the very first time. So normally when you look at a very first time, it will allow you to pick the language and also if there's a voice. So you need to be connected to the internet to get a voice, but you can get a child's voice at that step and add in a language as well. For this one, I'm going to go over in case you had clicked through and didn't realize, so it's all going to be there. So first things first, I'm going to start with my English. So I'm going to go to this drop down to English. I'm going to go down to word power 60 position, and basic. I'm going to hit customize. And then I'm going to name this whatever I would like it to be. For today, we're going to do English and then 2 because I have an English 1, and I'm going to copy. All right, so now I'm on my English page. I'm going to go back to vocab right now because I want mine to have more than one language. So if all I had was English right here and I didn't have Spanish as an option, I can go to menu, language, and then here I can add a language. And you can see there's lots of languages now. TouchChat is continuously expanding, so it is not just English and Spanish. We have lots of different things, and we also have more dialects coming. So you might notice that we have French Canadian, we have different English with different accents. I already clicked on Spanish, but if you needed Spanish, you could do that. Now there's Chinese as well. So I would click on it. I'll do Chinese so that I can see. Click OK. And that's it. And I can say, we're done. And I'll load, and it will load it so I have all the languages. The majority of the time we do Spanish, so I'll show you what I do in Spanish. So I will go and I'll look for my Spanish vocab. I'll click down to Spanish. I'll scroll down until I get my word power 60, básico, in español. And I'm going to hit customize. And then with this name, I'm going to make mine español y dos. So to match my English, say yes. And then same thing, it's going to pop me back over. So now that I have both of the vocab lists that I want, I'm going to start customizing it to be specific to this kid. So I'll go over up here to menu, settings. And there's different settings that I like to do. So one big thing is I will add a passcode, but I'm going to do that step at the very end. If I haven't programmed a voice, I can go into my voices for English, and I can look at all the different voices. These have like adult, teen, we have child, and it's good to know that these are always updating. So you might have felt that you didn't have a good match before, but they really are trying to expand different dialects. So right now, this one is on Emilio because Emilio is in both English and Spanish, and I want this to kind of sound naturally bilingual for this specific device. But if it was a different one, I would just click download, it'll download, and it'll pop over. You do need to be connected to Wi-Fi, so if you're having problems, that's 9 times out of 10 what's happened. So you need to make sure you click on it after you download, and then you go back. And then I would do this again for whatever additional language I would want. So I can do Emilio in Spanish, or play around and see if maybe there's something you like more. Niño and niña is it means kid, or little boy and little girl. All right, so I have voices that feel good to me. And that's also something you can always invite parents to help with too. If there's a voice that they like, that's usually a really good spot. All right, another thing I like to do is turning on speak characters. So what this means is that when our kids are in the alphabet page, it will say the letters. Otherwise, it's expecting that you're trying to write a word and it won't say the individual letters. But because our kids are interested in letters, but we're not always quite at spelling for all of them, it can be a little frustrating for them to like press A and not hear A. So speak characters I like to turn on. And then depending on my student, I might choose to add in release time. So what release time does is when we have those kids who rapid tap and the device kind of gets stuck in a loop, it keeps that from happening because essentially it's saying after you release it for however much amount of time, you can't re-push that button. So in this one, I like to do 0.5 seconds, which is not that much, but it's just enough to kind of keep that rate down. And then for now, I'm going to say done. All right, so now I'm going to be programming my bilingual switch. The good news is there's an easier way to do it now. So we're going to go to menu, edit page. I like to do it where the period is because our students aren't quite at the full sentence stage. And then it's nice and on the front for families also to learn how to do it. So because this is going to English and I'm in Spanish, I'm going to type in English as my word. I personally like to have this one book image. I just feel like it looks a little bit more easy to identify for me and maybe for my students. So I will do the hourglass. So part of it is when you are in a different language like Spanish, you have to type in the images in that language. So for example, instead of English, because we're getting English muffins, I need inglés. So here's my little English book. And then I'm going to continue to scroll down. And this is where things have kind of changed. So at this very bottom are where all my actions are. So I'm going to swipe left and delete each one of these. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to add. And now the part I'm very excited about is I'm just going to go to vocabulary. And I can pick what vocabulary I want to go to. So right now I want to go to English 2. And then I'm going to save and hit done. So now when I hit English, it brings me over to my English side. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing, but now I'm going to go from English to Spanish. So I'm going to go to menu. I'm going to go to edit page, click on my period up here. Now, because we're going to Spanish, I'm going to call it Español. I don't need it to speak the message. When I search, here's where it gets weird. If you want that book, you do English. There's your book. And then scroll down to the very bottom again. I'm going to delete by swiping left on all these different modifiers. I'm going to add, and then I'm going to go to vocabulary. And then I'm going to pick my Español 2. And then say save, and then done. So here I like to just make sure nothing got weird, so I'll hit my go.
Go.
And that sounds like an English go. Then Español.
Vámonos.
And vámonos also sounds good. Sometimes voices might get a little funky, and it's just good to check. So now that that's all good, I'm going to add in my passcode. If I did this any earlier, I would have to constantly update my passcode every single time I wanted to edit. So I'm going to go into menu, settings, scroll down to passcode, and you can set this to anything you want. Typically as a default, I just do 654321 until family or staff want to change it. And then I enable my passcode and then I hit done. And so what this does is if you go into vocab or you try to go into menu, it's password protected. And so we don't have any accidental changing of settings, but stuff still happens. All right, so that's the parts for TouchChat, but now I have to go in and set my guided access. So I'm going to hit the circle button at the bottom of the iPad. If you have a very new iPad, AbleNet has new iPads that it's that top button. So you'll hit that, and then we're going to go into our settings. And once we're in our settings, we're going to, on this sidebar here, it'll probably be pretty high up, you're going to scroll all the way down to accessibility. And then we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then we have guided access. So we'll click on this. We want to make sure we turn it, so it was off, we'll turn it on. Then we also want to make sure we set our passcode. So set guided access passcode. I do the same passcode that I'll do for my TouchChat passcode, because otherwise it's a lot to remember 2 different passcodes. Then I will leave guided access. I will go back to TouchChat, and then I will hit that button 3 times to turn guided access on. If you need to turn it off, you just hit that circle button at the bottom 3 times again, and your passcode portal comes up. But then you should be ready for the basics of your device, and your kiddo should be good to go. All right, thank you.